나에라.
어?
나에라.
아, 동그라미.
네. 우리 고향 달처럼 생겼어요.
What did he mean by that? Last time I checked, the moon looks the same everywhere on Earth, right? Is he an alien? I mean, it's the only explanation for the moon in so-called Pakistan to look different to the moon in Korea. Now, I guess you could argue that the moon looks slightly different in different parts of the world due to the angle or something, but Ali uses the word daira, which is the Arabic word for circle, to describe it. And we definitely know that the moon is indeed a circle everywhere in the world, or at least at some point in the month. So, like, what did he actually mean by that? I think Ali is an alien. Looking into the quote further, he claims that it looks just like the moon where he's from, but if you've ever been outside and seen the night sky, you can clearly see that these don't look alike, despite them being circles, of course. Which, again, can be said about the moon from anywhere in the world. It's always a circle. Right, and Ali isn't an idiot. So the only explanation is that on Ali's home planet, the moon is indeed a green ring, and he just got confused. Maybe on his home planet there's an eclipse every day, or maybe the moon's made up of little rocks like Saturn's rings. Either way, this gives us a decent hint to where his home planet may be, but before we uncover that, we need to confirm our suspicions, so let's gather some more evidence. Superpowers. Ali has been presented to have superpowers. Canonically, his power is super strength. As we've seen him in the pilot episode, Red Light, Green Light, Ali was able to catch Ji-hun with one hand, preventing him from being eliminated. And bro, he was not even phased by this. But was that super strength? Let's see. Just gonna look through the series to get an idea of Ji-hun's build. I see why the frontman acting up. Okay, moving on. Yeah, we can see here he's pretty ripped, you know, he's got some muscle mass going for him. And according to Google, he's 1.81 meters tall and 76.67 kilos, or 169 pounds, meaning his falling velocity is about 4.81 meters a second. And playing back the clip, we can see the time it took for Ali to stop Ji-hun's momentum. 0.1 seconds seems about right. It is in slow-mo, so yeah. That means that the force Ali required to stop his momentum was about 3,687.9 newtons. This means that he can lift 376.4 kilos with one hand and not even break a sweat. Now, I would try look into seeing what Ali's build is like, but unfortunately the show doesn't provide us with any shirtless scenes of Ali. But thanks to the power of social media, I can just find him on Instagram. Let's see. Yeah, he's not that buff, no offense, but you're telling me this guy can lift 370 kilos with one hand? No, that's an alien right there. Oh, and we also see him using mind control to get everybody to give him their food. But Ali's extraordinary abilities are only half of this story. Did you notice that we don't get to see his death? We get a clear view of the writer's intention here. As we know they aren't shy to kill off anyone, even our favourite characters. They just kill them off right in front of us. They are sadistic. They want to torture us. Everyone loved Ali. This was like a really good opportunity for them to ruin our day like they did with other characters. But they didn't show it. It's interesting because the only other main death that they didn't show us was the old man. And spoiler alert, he turned out not to be dead and was one of the VIPs. So, looking pretty sus, especially since it was in the same game. But, we see Ali's body, what do you mean, we see Ali's body? Yeah, so we only see his body. Obviously, the reason they didn't show the death was because that the alien inside him assimilated somebody else when he died, and then he left Ali's body to die while enjoying a lovely new host. Like, seriously, have some common sense, guys, use your brain. And as suspicious as that was for the writers to do, I wouldn't say that's the only clue they gave. They directly tell us that Ali is an alien, at least metaphorically. He's painted as an outsider, he doesn't know many words or customs of Korea, he even looks different to everyone around him. In the series, he is metaphorically an alien. But could this be a hint the writers gave us towards him being an actual alien? He claims that the reasoning for this was because he's from Pakistan, but if you ask me, that sounds like a cover story. Oh, you move countries to find work, huh? That's what Jason Bourne said. I don't trust you. Despite this, obviously there is a lot of evidence to support Ali actually being from Pakistan, for example his family and the fact that he's fluent in Urdu, and of course his overall appearance. But there is a perfectly reasonable explanation for this. Obviously he's been assimilated. Ali used to be a regular guy from Pakistan, then one day he got abducted, probed and assimilated, and an alien has taken his place. If anyone has watched The Thing, you'll know that once assimilated, the Thing is able to copy all of your memories and mannerisms, which explains why Ali can speak fluent Urdu. We also know that he's missing some fingers, which he claims happened in a factory accident, but it's pretty obviously a cover story for an issue with the assimilation. Or maybe he lost it trying to fight off the aliens. That being said, I think we have a solid case here. Ali is with no doubt an alien, but why is he here? Get in a spaceship. We're going to find his home planet and figure out what his business is in Korea. Looking back at the first point, Ali claims that the moon on his home planet looks just like a green ring. A possible explanation for this could be that the moon orbits his planet in such a way that there's an eclipse every day, and that there's some kind of filter in the atmosphere that lets only green light pass through. Well, either that or Ali's colorblind. Okay, first thing we need to do is find a suitable star capable of creating this effect. Meet Kelper62. He's an orange dwarf, about 20% smaller than our sun, but he's also 15% cooler, aka Kelpie D. He's making a solid candidate for being the sun on Ali's home planet. And now let me introduce you to Easy Aquari. He's about 25% smaller than our sun, but 10% cooler. He goes by Easy Mr. Red, and he's a striking opponent. Kelpie D emits a unique light spectrum which could interact with the atmosphere in interesting ways. Mr. Red has high energy flares, which could create a dynamic environment for Ali's planet, whereas Kelpie D is less energetic. Kelpie D already has an established planetary system. Yeah, I don't know what that was. But we have our champion. So, Kelper62 has 5 planets. 2 of them are considered super Earths as they orbit within a habitable zone of the star. They're called Kelper62e and Kelper62f, but for my sake I'm just going to call them Gary and Martin. Looking at the planets, Martin seems to be the best candidate because it will provide a better environment for hosting a moon as well as a thicker atmosphere, as it's a super Earth. To get the effect of the moon that Ali was talking about, Martin would need either a moon that is tidally locked. This means that it orbits the planet, showing the same face all the time. Or he would need a highly eccentric orbit, meaning that the moon's distance from Martin varies greatly. But to be honest, I'm liking the idea of a synchronized resonant orbit. So that's where the moon orbit is synchronized with Martin to create an eclipse effect. Okay, but why is the moon green? Well, I would say it's more than possible that on Ali's home planet there was some kind of massive explosion, causing an abundance of green pollutants to be spread out into the atmosphere, filling up the ozone layer, only allowing green light to pass through to his planet. And clearly this is what led him to Earth, because he needed to escape. But what sent him to Korea? Well, we do know that Ali's journey to Earth led him to discover his divine love for Earth food, shown as previously mentioned when he uses mind control to get Jihyun and his mate to give him their snacks. It's very likely that Ali was having a regular life in Pakistan before beholding Kim Jong-un. And after seeing this voluptuous specimen and how he's able to eat the food of everyone in his country, Ali became determined to assimilate him so that he could have it all instead. Right, so he needed to travel from Pakistan to North Korea in order to assimilate Kim Jong-un. But you can't exactly just walk into North Korea, which is why he went to South Korea. From South Korea, he would eventually be able to jump the border to assimilate Kimmy. And from there, he could have the best scran of his life every day. He likely joined Squid Game to earn enough money to be smuggled across the border. Either that or he wanted to bribe the guards. The dots are connecting.
I diagnose you with schism.